Hi, I'm Andy with EcoCha, and here we are with batch number 39 of the EcoCha Tea Club. And this month's batch is a Qing Xin Oolong black tea. Qing Xin is the name of a cultivar that originates from mainland China. It's the most widely cultivated cultivar here in Taiwan for the making of traditionally made oolong teas as well as high mountain tea or gaoshan cha. This plot of tea is a friend of ours' family farm in Fenghuang, or Phoenix Village, just above Dongding Mountain in Lugu. And Fenghuang, along with Yonglong, its neighboring village, and Jiangya Chun, or Jiangya Village, where Dongding Mountain is, are the three villages that are the heart of traditionally made Dongding Oolong tea in central Taiwan. This plot of tea is well over 30 years old. It was inherited by my friend from his father and grandfather, who taught him how to make tea. And in recent years, he has been using his summer crop to make black tea. So he would call it just oolong hong cha, which means oolong red tea. Red tea is the name used in Chinese for what we call black tea. And Qing Xin, the locals in the industry here call the cultivar Qing Xin. They simply use the name oolong to differentiate it from the modern hybrid strains such as Jin Xuan, Taicha number 12, and Cui Yu, Taicha number 13, Red Jade, which is usually made for black tea, Taicha number 18, Four Seasons Spring. Those are all newer hybrid cultivars that have come onto the scene here. The one word that I think of every time I brew this tea, as well as other oolong black teas, is fruit compote, some stewed fruit. It has a very rich, sweet character to it, kind of prunes, cherries, a little bit of citrus, a little bit like mulled wine, but not too much of the warming spice in the aroma, at least. Very satisfying, soothing, and full-bodied. It's really nice. So yeah, it's a kind of a conflict of terminology, since we at EcoCha, at least, and for the most part in the English-speaking world, oolong is used to refer to partially oxidized teas, anywhere from a very green oolong to a very well-oxidized oolong that it's not fully oxidized, though, to become a black tea. So we decided to call it a Qing Xin Oolong black tea, where despite the fact that something that's called oolong and black in the same name seems like a contradiction, we're simply attempting to represent the local industry here to an extent with the name of it, adding the actual specific cultivar to make it clear why we're using the name oolong. So again, the locals here call Qing Xin, that strain of tea plant, simply oolong, because that's what's most traditionally used and most popularly still used to make the oolong teas that Taiwan is famous for. Small leaf is another term to discriminate from large leaf tea strains such as Assam and Red Jade, Taicha number 18, and the wild tea strain here found in Taiwan that's often just called mountain tea. Those are large leaf. It's actually a different species, and the leaves are twice the size or so. So these small leaf strains, Jin Xuan, Four Seasons Spring, and also Qing Xin Oolong, are being used more and more, especially from the summer crop, to make black teas. And in addition to the fact that the people who are making them are typically oolong tea making professionals, so that has something to do with the results, we believe. Also the character of the tea leaves. There's some specific actual anatomy of the leaf. For example, I've been told that large leaf teas are only a single cell wall thick, whereas small leaf teas are double cell wall thick. And how does that affect the flavor? I'm not going to venture to say. I just know that the small leaf strains that are made into black tea are more delicate and more complex. This parallels their character as oolong teas as well. I put 7 grams of tea leaves in a 150 milliliter pot. It seems just about right. I think this tea is not so delicate. If you want something hardier and see how far you can push it, you could go up to 8 or 9 grams for 150 milliliters. I would keep it above the 1:15 ratio. So don't go more than 10 grams for 150 milliliters of tea. I mean, it's always worth a try, but it might start getting, what I find when I brew teas overly concentrated, they lose their subtlety and you don't get the aromatic notes. You get a very strong flavor on the palate, but it becomes more monotone and less complex. Now I'm getting a chocolatey caramel, long-lasting aftertaste. It's still very present in the back of my throat and my nose. I asked the farmer if the leaves are allowed to grow as much as oolong, and he said for black tea he picks them slightly less mature, not very small. They're you can see that the stems and the leaves were, I'd say, 3/4 mature. So maybe 70% of the size of mature oolong tea that's used for making dongding oolong particularly. Yeah, it's just this kind of border, or I should say margin, between oolong and black. We're quite intrigued by the varieties that are coming out of these small leaf black teas and the subtle differences among them. And we shared a batch a couple of years ago. We just thought it was time to share another one from the same area, different farmer, both with deep oolong knowledge and expertise, and to see their versions of their black tea, and particularly this one, which was allowed to undergo solar withering and then be rolled tightly, so that kind of brings it closer to the realm of oolong tea making. So there you have it, batch number 39 of the Eco Cha Tea Club, Qing Xin Oolong Black Tea from summer 2018. We look forward to hearing your experience. Please post your comments, your photos, your tasting videos on our blogs. Let everybody else in the Tea Club know what you think about this batch of tea. We really want to have this be a community and a community platform to share on. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for our newsletter, and go ahead and share the posts that we share with you if you find them worthwhile and you think other people will appreciate them. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next month.